What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RobLive. I'm thankful for everyone who's tuned in so far. I'm up to 70 subscribers. Truly appreciate all of you. Today, I want to talk a little bit about mistakes. Right? We've all made them, and I happen to be the king of mistakes, is what I've dubbed myself, because I feel like I've made a lot of major mistakes in life. And the reason I'm bringing that up today is because when you think about someone who has a YouTube channel that's supposedly imparting wisdom, or sometimes you'll get online and you'll see a motivational speaker, or you'll see what's labeled as a life coach, one of the very natural and immediate questions we have is, what qualifies this person to be able to impart any wisdom that would be of value to myself and others? Right? The same question that comes across my mind when I think about people like this. And it used to be that I would have this assumption that they had their life together and therefore were able to share the success and the things that work for them. But in many cases, the truth is that we don't have our lives together, but we have experience. We have these huge mistakes in life that affected us in a way where we were able to learn a tough, hard lesson. And so if you ask, RobLive, what does this guy have to offer? Why should I tune in and subscribe? What can he possibly share with me? And I can tell you right now, a lot of mistakes. So let's start with today's quote. And today's quote is, "A smart person learns from his mistakes, but a truly wise person learns from the mistakes of others." I found this to be true early in life for myself because I had the benefit of a wonderful older brother, Gus. Shout out to Gus Escamilla. He's my older brother, and Gus, was being the oldest, he had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations before the rest of us. There was 4 siblings growing up together in the same home, and Gus being the first to go to high school, Gus to be the first involved in organized sports, Gus being the first to try college. All of these things were firsts. And of course, when there is no blueprint for it, because, when he didn't have an older sibling to learn from, he took a lot of hits for the rest of us. And I was able to observe some of the things that he did and how he navigated his way through them. And, I was able to learn from a lot of his mistakes that he had to, suffer through. And so I'm very grateful for that. And again, referring back to this idea that a wise person is someone who can learn from the mistakes of others so you don't have to repeat them. And I think that for a lot of parents, that's the goal, is to have our children learn from our mistakes and be wiser for it. Right? I know for my family and the experience that I've witnessed growing up, a lot of our family members, when they were younger, they worked in the fields. Right? In California, there's a lot of field work. And it's very difficult work. You're out in the extreme weathers. Right now, it's triple digits here in the Central Valley, and as I'm driving, I see people out in the fields working right now in these conditions. That's very difficult work. And so a lot of times, our older relatives will tell us, "Hey, listen, you want to stay in school, you want to get an education, you want to create career opportunities beyond just working in a field, because this is very difficult work." And so, we're able to learn a lesson from their situation, their experience. And so that's what mistakes can become, right? They can become this opportunity to have a great lesson to share with other people. So a couple of real life examples for me. One of them was a divorce. Right? Although my current marriage is successful, not perfect by any means, but successful, it's working, and we have children together, and we work through our issues. My first marriage failed. It did not work out. I don't feel like I was prepared for the situation that I was in, and therefore I failed. And so that's a very difficult time to go through. And there was a lot that was learned. It was a very painful experience, but there was a lot that was learned from that. And so that's one of these tough lessons that I can now impart on people who are, potentially considering a lifetime commitment like marriage. Another difficult mistake was, for those who recall, there was a terrible real estate crash in the year 2007 and into 2008. The value of homes plummeted. And in that particular case, I owned a home, and then I also had an investment property with my cousin. And ultimately, I lost both properties. And so that was a very difficult lesson in finances that, eventually led to filing for bankruptcy, right? And so that was a very difficult time for me financially, but a lot of lessons learned. Tough time. So, now that I'm a lot smarter about how to manage finances and how to prepare for the future. Not perfect by any means, but, I've gained wisdom from that huge mistake. Another struggle, not necessarily a mistake, but just, a tough time managing things, was right after high school. I didn't have a plan. And I didn't plan for college. I didn't plan for anything beyond that day or that week or the next party, was kind of my mindset in high school. And so after high school and right after graduation, I saw many of my peers moving on to college and career and different things that they had set up and planned for after graduating. I had no plan, and kind of onset this minor bout of depression that I went through, just kind of lost. Ultimately, by the grace of God, I was able to find my way and navigate my way to college after high school. But then I repeated that same mistake of not planning after college. And after obtaining my 4-year degree from Menlo College, Go Mighty Oaks in Menlo Park, California. Again, my peers moving on, they had internships, they had things they were doing in preparation for college graduation. They had lined up jobs, and I was, just living for the day, having fun, playing college soccer, spending time with my friends. And then, again, no career plan after college. And again, onset another minor bout of depression and just like melancholy and just being lost and not having a direction. Very difficult times for me. I still remember clearly how that felt, and, learned a tough lesson from that. So all of these major mistakes in my life that led to emotional struggle or led to financial struggle, right, were all great lessons that I now share, not only with my children, my close friends and family, but also, with my students at school. I'm able to impart some of those struggles I had in high school and those mistakes I made onto my students. And now, I think about these mistakes and I think, they were not made in vain. It wasn't like I made these huge mistakes and nothing good became of it. I now have this, mental bank of hard lessons that I can share with other people because I went through those tough times. So with that being said, the lesson today that I kind of want to impart upon you is that your biggest mistakes provide you with the gift of lessons that can be beneficial to others. We're all qualified to impart this wisdom to anyone who's wise enough to listen. Do not hide your mistakes in shame, but rather carry them with enough humility to share with others, to look out for others so that they may not repeat those same mistakes. So, my challenge for you, my RobLive challenge for this episode is, I want you this week to make a list of some major mistakes you made throughout life, then identify the valuable lesson that was learned through those mistakes, and then the final step, find an audience to share your mistakes with so that others may gain wisdom from your struggle. Could be an audience of one, maybe, a child or a close friend or a spouse, right? Or maybe you want to go a little bit bigger and share with an audience, or, go to your local school and maybe present to a group, or, go to your, anywhere where you can find someone to reach out to and share with. So I'm not going to make any restrictions on of the size of your audience. I'm just going to ask you to challenge yourself to take the wisdom learned from these mistakes and share to improve somebody else's life, right? And sometimes that gives a different meaning to these mistakes. We don't look back at them as just, sheer regret, but more of, hey, this was a great lesson that I can now use to help and benefit people around me. Okay, so that's your RobLive challenge for the week. Number one, identify some huge mistakes you've made in the past. Number two, find what the lesson was through that mistake. And then number three, identify an audience that you're comfortable sharing that mistake with. Okay, you are my audience. I'm sharing with you guys. And I'm hoping you now understand that your mistakes can be a gift of wisdom to others. That being said, it's always love, peace, chicken grease. This is RobLive, and I'm out.